Hey guys, Ben here. So, now that I have the problem situated out and I know I'm not going to ruin it, I figured I'd reveal a project that I've had going for a little while, probably in my mind for about a year now. This is a polycarbonate tube. Inner ID is 1.5 inches exactly. ID is 1 3/4 of an inch. So that is 1/8 inch polycarbonate. I will be making a homemade out of this. The reason why I'm not using clear PVC, there's a few reasons. One is because it's actually tinted blue. And I know that sounds really stupid, but it's slightly tinted blue if you look at it, and I don't really like that. And that I know that's really dumb not to like that but I'm just very particular about my ways. Another really good reason is the inner dimension and outer dimension of this is exact, which means the seal is a lot easier to find. I'm not finicking with anything. I'm not messing with the tension on the seal to get it just right. I have an actual seal that is the perfect, excuse the light, that is the perfect dimension for this. So no finicking. That's nice about it. It's also much stronger than PVC. You might think PVC is dominant, but this thing you could smack up against a wall and it wouldn't do anything. Like, I'm talking cement, and it wouldn't do anything. That's just the nature of it. It seems hard and brittle, but it's actually hard and very flexible. If I pulled this all the way, if I had enough strength, this would bend before it actually snaps. Same with PVC, but this more so because it's actually hard. PVC is a soft plastic, and so it's very easy to scratch. It's very easy to lose your seal. It's very easy to damage it in general. This is a very hard and tough material. And pretty much everything in this has been beefed up. This is 3/8 polycarb instead of 1/4 inch. All with square holes, which wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be. After working with aluminum, this is a breeze to work with. So that's the catch. Pretty beefy, and that is not going to break anytime soon. Have an aluminum square plunger rod. This is also 3/8 inch. That's a rough estimate where the notch is. This is a 3D printed plunger head. I plan on getting this made out of aluminum for the future. I still need to find someone to make it. I've contacted a few people, and the lowest price I have right now is like $175 for 3 of these. So, yeah, let's hope I don't have to pay that. The washer, again, that's just a steel washer, temporary to prevent this from breaking. This actually works, by the way, but I just don't like this because my goal of this is to make everything out of aluminum, polycarbonate, or something blue. And what I mean by that is you can see that the seal here is actually a blue silicone ring that is a special kind of silicone that is supposed to go all the way down to -40 degrees or something. It's an extreme weather temperature seal or whatever, but I got it because it was blue. Apparently that was really cheap. I got like 5 for I think $10, which apparently was steel, because a thin sheet 6 inches by 6 inches and 1/64 of an inch is like $30. So I was going to use it for the stock, kind of like a rubber stock, get a 1/4 inch, which they do sell, but that's like $170, and I'm not doing that. So I ordered a EVA foam block online. It's meant to be some sort of yoga block thing, and it's pretty much the same color as this in the picture. Hopefully when it gets here it'll be the same color. Either way, it's like $4, so I'm not really wasting much. I have blue anodized screws, because why not? They're a little darker than I wanted, but they will still work because they're blue. These ones look a little bit darker because they're in the bag. When you pull them out and take a picture of them, they're actually really bright blue. Didn't want to paint the screws because anodized screws. Those are aluminum, which I'm a little bit worried about, but I'm not too worried about because it's shear force. If you don't know what I'm talking about, don't worry about it, but it's shear force pushing against this, and it's not going to be bending it. It's either going to snap clean off, or it's not going to at all. The heads I'm not worried about because I'm not putting in much tension. Well, I'm screwing them in tightly, but I'm not putting in that much tension. It's worth noting that these are 70-71 screws. That's aircraft grade aluminum. This is 60-61. All of the rest of it is 60-61 aluminum, which is just standard aluminum. That's pretty much what everybody uses. And this is 1-inch aluminum cut off of that. This is the front handle that's going to go onto the pump. It's a RainBow pump if you haven't guessed by now. Don't know how well this is going to work because it is rather heavy for a front grip, but if it is, I'll just cut it down. I don't think it's going to be that heavy because I'm going to be shaving it down as well for comfort. I don't know why no one has made a different handle. This is going to be something I'm talking about. This is just personal preference. I'm not really harping on anyone because they still look good. For instance, Drax blood crossbow, or blood RainBow. I don't know what it's called. It's his RainBow pump. You guys know what I'm talking about. The Bloodwood one. That one's beautiful, and it's what I'm talking about. So don't get me wrong. There's no right or wrong way to do it. I just don't know why people haven't done it before. Basically, the only thing people do is they get a piece of wood and they cut it straight. And then that's it. That's the handle. And I don't really know why people haven't carved it up. I've seen them carve it up a little bit, but there's no real variation from RainBows, and then your crossbows have this kind of style. I'm going to put this on a RainBow, and it's kind of a unique design. It's not even really a plus bow stock, but I'm going to try it out and see how it goes. I'm also putting a guard on here. Not sure what I'm going to make that out of yet. I have 1/8 inch, I have 1/4 inch, I have pretty much everything under the sun if I wanted to use it. I even have 1/2 inch if I wanted to use that. So I'll figure all that out, iron out the details, and then I have plates that are going onto the side of these handles that'll just continue to help secure the entire thing. I have everything drawn up and should fit together well. My only concern was this piece, and I couldn't cut this piece, at least not properly, without bandsaw, and I just got that for Christmas. So also, this was completely impossible to cut with that. Yes, I did try. I cut a small piece. You can kind of see me waving a little bit, but that's okay because I'm waving away from the part. I'll just file that down or figure out, sand it, something. I'm just not used to that machine yet. And I was in a little bit of a rush. You can see probably about down to here I cut with that, and just this part right here took about 2 hours. Yeah, so I realized at that point that is completely impossible for me to do this entire piece. I measured up everything. If you see the numbers here, I measured it up, and it was something like 48 hours straight, and that would probably destroy my machine even in small bursts. That's a lot of sawing. I would go through a lot of blades too. I did this in literally like 2 minutes. So that is much better. It was gliding through much easier than I thought it was going to. And it cuts through like Nerf, forget it. There's nothing there. It cut through this like butter. You really need to get a bandsaw if you don't have one. If you're really into the integrations and the homemades, a bandsaw is definitely a must. I think this one was $130. I would completely go for it. This is just a Ryobi, for the record. That's pretty much the one that's considered to be the best, cheapest. So, yeah, these are all freehand cut, and then I just actually have a sticker maker. And then I put the sticker on one side of this, put it on there, as best as I could, lining up the holes, and then I squared off the holes equally, and then I put that on my sander, which is currently up there, and just kind of made that even so they're completely even all the way around. And then I have the dot on the bottom there to recognize which side is what. This is just a sticker template that I printed out on a full sheet of sticker paper. This is still the original brown, that's just measurements. So a few things I've learned from this, especially the Mark 1, was don't try to put an aluminum catch when you have an aluminum rod, because it will blacken the rod. It'll pick up the silicone lubricant or whatever you're using, and it will basically infuse it with aluminum files. No matter how small, no matter how much you clean it off, it'll brace against each other and it will become black. So you'll have black silicone lubricant, and that is not good. So polycarbonate this time. However, that one is not breaking. You could put an infinite amount of weight into that for a spring, and that is not breaking. That is one piece. One catch piece, and then this piece. Works really well. You can see how it's blackening the lubricant. It's worse. This is after it's cleaned up, so it gets worse. That was a pretty good one too. It was a perfect seal, and it was full compression, which kind of sucks. But I'll get that out of this one, I have no doubt. So, gonna have a 3.0 style catch. As best as I know how to make one, there's no real source out there that says this is definitely how you make them. As far as I can tell from pictures, from people talking, it's a plate on the back of here, and then you have one that goes through like that, and that's connected to your priming handle. So that's what I'm gonna do. If that's 3.0, it's me, whatever. I'm just using, there's no real set way to do this. I'm just going about it the way I would, and what makes logical sense. Oh, I also got these springs for the trigger, which is really good. They were really hard to find, but I got these off of eBay. I actually ordered 5 of them, and he gave me 6 of them. They were originally 99 cents. I talked them down to 65 cents, I think. And then he gave me an extra one, which I'm pretty sure was a mistake. But hey, I'll take it. And the reason why I got 6 of them is because if it does work out, knowing my luck, I'm going to go back to get more, and they're not going to be there. So, that whole thing was only like $6, including shipping. So, you know, if I keep saying that, $6 here, $4 here, $2 there, eventually this gun is going to get very expensive if it doesn't work out. I say that like it's a bad thing. I'm already well into this blaster in terms of money. Yeah, so I'm not even going to talk about how much I've spent on this blaster, but hopefully everything works out. I got a bunch of more aluminum for this for Christmas and a bunch of other stuff, so hopefully this works out. If not, it's going to make a epic failure. This is going to be a slow process. I don't plan on updating this for a while. Hopefully I carve this out completely before I even think about an update. So if you have any feedback on this, if you have any ideas one thing I forgot to mention is this is not the final head here. The one I'm going to be actually machining actually has 3 vent holes up in the front here, so that when I pull it back, it's not vacuum feeding. This is because this is obviously a loose fit there. So, and people assured me that this is the best that I'm going to be able to do for this style, and I believe them because it makes sense. I read an article on it. So yeah, I'll have the EVA foam backing here that'll hopefully be the same color blue. I'll have the blue anodized screws. I'll have the blue seal, and you know, hopefully that works out, and the handle goes up here, obviously. Yeah, if you have any feedback for me, if you have any ideas, if you have any warnings, I guess, for those of you who are more experienced, this is my first homemade, which sounds a little... Second homemade? This one technically worked, I just didn't have the handle on it, because I didn't go any further because of that back part. It technically worked, though. Either way, this is my first fully making homemade, so if you guys have any ideas, let me know. Let me know what I should know. I've pretty much read every article, every forum that is on a RainBow, so I feel like I have a good understanding of it, but obviously there's going to be problems that I'm going to run into that I'm not going to be ready for. So if you have any advice, if any of you have made homemades, please give me ideas, give me forethoughts. So thanks for watching, and until next time. Which is why you can't heat it up to thermoform it. because it'll start bubbling up, and that's because those bubbles were cast under pressure, so there are micro bubbles in this. You just can't see them. They're not big enough to affect anything. That was a piece of information. That was a really long piece of information that no one needs to know.